Well, hello geometers and seekers of general truths. In this video, we will look at the formula for the length of an arc. And we talked about this arc length situation, and we've done a brief example already, but let's formalize this process here. So when we want to find the length of an arc given a circle with a radius r and an arc AB, then we can say that there's a proportion that we can use, right? So the measure of the measure of arc AB over 360 degrees is equal to the length of the arc AB over the circumference. So we can maybe take it one step further and just say that the measure, and just copy the same thing here on the left side, the measure of AB over 360 degrees is equal to the length of AB over the circumference, but we want to calculate the circumference in terms of r, so we could use 2 pi r. So either of these formulas would work. I like to use the second one here more likely than not, just because it is a little bit more comprehensive. Okay? So let's look at a quick example of how we can do this. So here I have an example, and we want to find the length of arc RQ. So arc RQ is this blue arc right there. Well, we use what we had before. The measure of the arc, in this case RQ, over 360 degrees is equal to the length of RQ, or the arc RQ, over the circumference. But the circumference, if we remember, is 2 pi times the radius. So I'm going to call this length here x. Okay, so x, just so I don't have to keep writing the length of RQ, x over 2 pi, the radius in this case is 6, is equal to the measure of RQ, which is 60 degrees, over 360. And what this proportion is saying is that this arc right here occupies 60 parts out of every 360 parts. So if you could dice up this circle into 360 equal parts, 60 of those would be occupied by the length of that arc right there. So let's see if we can reduce this information down a little bit. 60 over 360 is really 1 over 6, which is equal to x over, and then 2 times pi times 6 is the same thing as 12 pi. And I'm going to solve this in a little bit more detail than I did last time. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12 pi. So multiplying both sides by 12 pi. The right side cancels, and the left side I have 12 pi over 6, so that's the same thing as 2 pi, and our units here are in centimeters, is equal to the arc length. And you can also type this into a calculator. This is about 6.28 centimeters as the length of this arc. So there you have it, a more formalized equation for that we can use to calculate arc length, and then an example of how to put that equation to use. As always, thank you for watching. Keep working hard, and have a